The following podcast may be explicit. One Joe Young presents Adventures from the Shed, a tabletop RPG podcast. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com. With one of the three swords in hand, Nesolis, Kalam'te, Truk, and Aleyna take a much-needed rest. We go through the make camp and an end-of-session move, followed by a plan to exit the temple. Enjoy the podcast.
Hi, and welcome to the Shed for Adventures from the Shed. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com, iTunes, Facebook, Twitter, Stitcher Radio, Google+.
I think that's it.
And places. We're going to go around the table and say hi, starting with...
Hi, everyone. This is Mickie. I play Nesolis. That's it.
JJ here, playing Kalam'te.
Hey, it's Kurt. I'm playing Truk, the human. In Dungeon World, he's a fighter with some druid traits, but I think of him as a monk.
Hi, this is Brittany, and I'm playing Aleyna.
And I am Joe. I'm the game master for our Dungeon World campaign set in the world of Alamand. We're going to do a couple of different things at the beginning of this session. First, we're going to do a recap of our last session. Does anybody remember enough to actually do that?
Things happened.
All right, so what we did was the group got together and hatched a plan to get into the temple of the Order of Light where the paladins had all been wiped out. They got into the temple past Naga and demons, fighting alongside of Jer, the cleric from Aleyna's past. And after getting inside the temple, fought off some Naga outside of the room where this sword was being held. Got into the room, and Aleyna was able to grab the sword, and we pretty much finished off the last episode there, trying to figure out what we were going to do next.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we bum rushed the room, so there's still a lot of stuff on the outside.
There's bad guys out there. But I think what we're going to do to start this one is we're going to do a little camp in that room to rest up. And for that, we are going to go into something we have not done in a while. We're going to do, from the Dungeon World basic move sheet, the flip side of that, which is special moves. We're going to go through an end of session and level up, and Kurt's going to talk us through that.
Absolutely. So back when we were playing Dungeon World ages ago, we did this several times, but since switching back from 5th edition to Dungeon World rules, we have not done an end of session, and it's been a number of hours, and so it's appropriate that we do that. End of session is a special move in Dungeon World, and I'm going to actually read the text of the rule as follows, but I will tell you that as a result of this end of session, we will also be leveling up our characters, which is another special move, and we'll deal with that when we get there. End of session. When you reach the end of a session, which is not necessarily an hour, it is a chunk of the campaign that makes sense to be considered a session.
Yep.
That was my little sidebar. When you reach the end of a session, choose one of your bonds that you feel is resolved, meaning completely explored, no longer relevant, or otherwise. Ask the player of the character you have this bond with if they agree. If they do, mark XP and write a new bond with whomever you wish. Once bonds have been updated, look at your alignment. If you fulfill that alignment at least once this session, mark XP. Then answer these three questions as a group. Did we learn something new and important about the world? Did we overcome a notable monster or enemy? Did we loot a memorable treasure? For each yes answer, everyone marks XP.
So let's start with the bonds part. People, look at the bonds on your sheet, and let's explore that a little. Do you think there are any bonds that you have that you think are completely explored, no longer relevant, or no longer applicable, perhaps?
What if they're still relevant?
What if? Then it doesn't count as one having been dealt with.
Right, so I have one that I think is probably not relevant. I wouldn't say it was completely explored, but one of mine, and you can, I guess, Brit, this is up to you to decide whether you agree. Mm-hmm. And I will mention that when we brought these characters over from 5th edition, Joe kind of, at least in some cases, came up with the bonds.
Yes.
So this is one that Joe had written for me that I don't feel like I've explored that much, but I don't think it's particularly relevant in light of the last 3 hours of play. I worry about the ability of Aleyna to survive in the wild. I feel like Aleyna's doing a perfectly fine job of surviving in the wild. And this would be in the dungeon on the Dungeon World sheet. We changed it to wild in part because of my interest in the druid skills and the nature aspect of my character. I feel like that's something that over 7 or 10 hours of play has not been a huge issue, and that Aleyna's fine, and my worries in that regard were not valid.
I would
What do
agree
you
to that.
think, Aleyna?
Yeah.
Would you agree? Okay.
All right, so I would mark XP for that
Yep,
bond
you get an
being
experience
resolved.
for that, and that bond goes away, and you're supposed to come up with another one, so you
Right.
can think about that.
Okay.
I have one, I think, as well that's resolved. It's also with Aleyna. It says, Aleyna will play an important role in the events to come. I have foreseen it. And I think the fact that we're here
I feel like
at your
that's
old
super
monastery, picking up
Yeah.
your sword,
Well,
pretty much
it's mine now.
it's your now. Picking up the sword, I think, fully resolves that bond. Would you agree?
I agree.
Sounds good.
Joe, when we come up with a
Cross
new
that
one,
off, yeah.
it's not just putting a new person's name in that blank. Do we write a new bond of our own?
In my opinion, the best way to do a bond is to write one that makes sense for your character in light of another character.
So, one of mine is, this is not my first adventure with Nesolis. That's going to be true of all of my adventures from now on.
Yeah.
How do you play that, though? That's the
How do
important
you-
part. It isn't just a statement that is or is not true. It's something that drives your character.
I feel like I spend a lot of time protecting Nesolis, or trying to.
So that's up
guess.
to you guys. How do you feel that should have
So-
played or did
But I mean,
play?
like, that
or-
would resolve it, I think, but it would still be true. So could I keep that as a bond?
Once you have used a bond for experience, you cross it off and write a new one.
Okay. All right, well, I have that one. Nesolis?
Sure.
Okay.
Anything else? Kalam'te?
I mean, mine all seem like they're very, very still relevant. I mean, you're still trusting your diary.
Yeah.
I mean, Aleyna has stood by me in battle and can be trusted completely. I don't think I can trust her completely just yet.
That's probably a good one, yeah.
Hard ass.
And I respect the beliefs of Truk, but hope they will someday see the light.
Okay.
And he hasn't come around to ways of money yet.
So one
He's
thing,
still very frugal.
One thing I would say is, as far as the one that's with Nesolis and distrusting her diary, you could resolve that one or cross that one off and write one of what you're going to do about it.
Okay.
Right? So that is true. You've shown the distrust in the book. Now, maybe the next, if you choose to resolve that one, because I think that's appropriate, then you write a new one. And that new one could be, I will destroy that diary or, something, if you gotten to that point.
Okay.
That could be one way to handle it.
I'm not sure I'm there yet.
Okay.
So, Truk will never come to your way of thinking as
We
far
don't
as
know that?
dollars.
We don't know that?
You never know.
No, I actually think I could, because one of my bonds is Kalam'te is greedy, but I will make him generous like me.
So they're
I think
gonna
our
be
bonds
fighting
could
it out.
play.
Yeah.
Well,
we
the
both
fact
become philanthropists.
the fact that you respect money doesn't mean that you're necessarily greedy and self-centered. So
But he
I think
is.
That's true. But
Maybe not self-centered, but greedy.
well, I would love to see our stories.
Enterprising, that's the way
Yeah,
I
because
think
it's
of
for the empire.
it. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Not
I would love to
necessarily
see our
self-centered.
stories come together in a way where the money and the love of capitalism leads to something much bigger than ourselves, some type of philanthropy or venture that matters beyond our party.
Or maybe you could start a hotel business.
Also, we do well with the ends.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we could. Are we done with the bonds?
Hotel.
Truk is often the butt of my jokes.
We can do. You can only do one bond,
Oh, you can only
and
do
you
one
have to
bond
make
per-
jokes about him in character for that to be applicable.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
not just
Off
Kurt.
air
It
does
has
not
to
count.
be-
No, but I make jokes about Truk out of character.
No, it has to be in character because that's your
Damn.
character sheet, not your player sheet.
Okay.
We don't have a player
Well,
sheet for
okay.
you. That would
Well, I
probably
resolved
be a
one.
much longer piece of paper.
So next we look at our alignment and mark an XP if we have fulfilled our alignment. I'll go ahead and just start. My alignment is neutral. Defeat a worthy opponent. Which I would think that we've fulfilled in multiple ways. But
How did
particularly-
Truk do it? Name something Truk did.
Truk was pretty pivotal in the last fight to get the sword at the monastery.
What
through
were the
coordinated
opponent
efforts.
did he defeat?
Well, if I have to have a name.
Now, it doesn't have to be the last fight or the last battle. It can be
well, the
anything.
Grove.
There you go.
In the Grove,
Yeah.
protecting Nesolis.
Dantalion.
Exactly.
The one where
We didn't defeat
Calamity did
Dantalion.
all the damage and you complained that you didn't do any? That one? That were the opponent you defeated there?
Or is it a good
coordinating
seaside battle?
Well, the seaside battle, if that's still in the
I
session.
like the pirate one.
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking
single-handedly
characters here. This
Yeah.
is a character thing, so that works for me.
I forgot that was still in
the
the
flying
session.
monk that beat up the wizard.
Right.
There you
So I would mark an XP there,
All right.
which that would get me to level up.
And remember, too, the big thing about alignment is it's something that helps, again, like bonds, it drives your character. It doesn't define your character, it just drives your character. And that one sentence, or two sentences, whatever it may be, under alignment, that's something that you should play towards in some way. It doesn't have to be the defining thing for the character, but it is something that you should do.
Mine is good, and the stipulation for mine is endanger yourself to protect someone weaker than you. I think
you do that
charging
on the
into battle with
regular.
wobbly bits
Yeah,
is
You endangered your wobbly bits to protect those weaker than you.
I mean, because I purposely, didn't don my armor to make sure that some of the attention was on me.
Cool,
I agree.
that works.
And Nesolis is neutral. Discover something about a magical mystery. How far back?
You
does this
discovered
go?
the blacksmith, the
how
sword
far
and
back
stuff.
the history behind the swords? There we go. That's one.
Okay,
Level up.
I'll buy it. What is Aleyna?
Yeah, as it turns out, I didn't pick an alignment.
Okay.
So,
This is a very good opportunity.
I mean, I feel like Aleyna would be good out of the options that I have here.
Okay.
And that would be perform your art to aid someone else. I feel like I did that in
And that
every single
happens.
battle.
Yep.
Yeah.
So first,
Good
make
luck.
sure you check that box that you are good aligned. And
But no, I want to have
yes,
this conversation again next time.
It'll happen, I'm sure. Then next, Kurt, let's go through those 3 questions.
Okay, so after we
What about race?
What?
Were you successfully
race?
racist?
Yes.
Okay. Race is not an experience.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've been forgetting.
Wait,
though.
but mine
I've been-
fits.
I've been forgetting though that we get a little
The
boon
race
from
is
our race.
a bonus thing. It is not a. It's like a free move. It's a race move. It is not a thing to fulfill.
The barbarian gets.
Yeah.
That's why I remember.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to remember that though, because like as a human, I get to re-roll a single damage roll in battle, which
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about. Okay, so now
Oh, is it different for everyone?
Yes, it is
I was like,
different
that's
for
not
every-
what my human says.
Each race in each class has something different.
Okay.
All right, these 3 questions we must answer as a group. I don't think they're going to be too difficult.
Yeah. But I'd like to talk through them.
Did we learn something new and important about the world?
So I think we
Absolutely.
learned enough that I think each person should name something. Let's start with JJ.
I learned that there is a ancient order that what was the red bandits, the guy that
Crimson-
Crinkle, the Crimson
The Crimson Order, yes.
Yes, I learned
Yeah.
about them.
Yeah. That was
Sante.
Nico Saint.
Nico Saint. So I learned about them.
Cool. Who else?
I learned
Mickie.
that Aleyna's character was part of this group, right? That protected.
Hey, I also learned that.
She used to be a paladin.
She used to be a paladin.
Yeah.
She's been lying to me all this
I
time.
didn't lie about anything.
Withholding the truth is the same
so-
as lying.
I've learned that the sword that my sensei did not want me to touch that I used during the original monastery battle is in fact one of these 3 sacred or powerful swords.
Currently, that's speculation.
Well,
You think it is.
I think it is. And I now know that there are 3 swords of power that whose fate is tied to the fate of our world.
I like that. Now it is. Brit.
Well, shit. Kurt stole mine.
Well, he does that.
Yeah.
He steals mine all the time.
You learned about
This way
her
you gotta
father
speak up.
and her link to the
So did
demonic
she.
world. True.
I knew about it before she did.
There has to be something new and
Yeah,
or
basically
important.
just learning that I'm a part of something bigger
Aha.
in regards to the swords.
Cool.
And having come back here because of having been here before.
We also can use the process of deduction to now know that Naga have showed up at every major battle that we've been involved in, except for the one with Rudolph.
Yeah. Because that was special.
Yeah, that was
Now, there could have been gingerbread Naga that you just didn't see.
That's true. That's
You
true.
never know.
All right,
That
so we
would have been awesome.
Would have been.
So I think we can agree that we would mark an XP for whether we learned something new about the world.
Agreed.
Next question of the 3: did we overcome a notable monster or enemy? Many.
Yeah.
Do we have to give examples?
Note somebody. Yeah, Britt, you're the only one that has to
Nico
give an
Saint,
example.
yeah, for sure.
Damn. All right, who else? All right, that guy. Okay, and
No one had names.
that
Jeff.
one. Jeff.
I remember Jeffrey,
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeffrey the pirate.
who I'm pretty sure was spelled G-off.
Yes.
Yeah, he
so
was a fancy,
Joffrey.
he was a fancy Jeff.
He was a fancy Jeff.
Hansi.
Third question: did we loot a memorable treasure? And clearly, my plant,
Yes, Frederica.
Frederica, was the
Was a
most
memorable.
memorable treasure we have looted thus far.
I agree.
Fair enough.
And now you have a stick from her.
I have a stick.
Yes.
No, we have swords. We have ancient tomes of knowledge. We have lots
Now
of good stuff.
I'm curious: is the stick is it still a living branch?
Yes.
So
Because
it flowers and whatnot,
That'll be up to Kurt to
Little
decide.
mini buds.
Yeah.
little buds.
What
That means
type
it
of
comes on your
tree?
face.
It comes on my
I'm
face.
so-
Yeah, that's what pollen
glad.
is. Pollen is plant cum.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Pollen
We've learned
is
something new and
plant
important
semen.
about the world.
Yes, and we've guaranteed that we'll get the
So
explicit
Frederica
tag yet
gives
again.
you gives you facials.
To your staff gives you facials.
Awesome. That's what I thought my elf bard was for.
It's not the first time.
She just sits on your face.
All right.
But
and on that note,
with that,
Good
everybody's
morning,
got
Mickie.
enough experience, and our characters are going to go to level 6. And
Correct.
before we started, we had each person look through them, and Kurt's going to read the level up move.
all right, from the special moves sheet in the Amazing Dungeon World book, brought to you
By Dungeon World.
by Dungeon World, La Torre and Cobel.
Yes.
Level up when you have downtime, hours or days, and XP equal to or greater than your current level plus 7. Subtract your current level plus 7 from your XP, increase your level by 1, and choose a new advanced move from your class. If you are the wizard, you also get to add a new spell to your spellbook. Choose one of your stats and increase it by 1. Note that this may change your modifier. Changing your constitution increases your maximum and current hit points. Ability scores cannot go higher than 18.
And since that move singles out the wizard, let's go to Mickie first for what she picked. What you do
So-
with your level up.
I elected to add Master, which is a level 6 through 10 advanced move. And with that, I get to choose one spell in addition to the one I'd already selected for Prodigy to prepare either as a cantrip or as if it were one level lower. So what I selected was Invisibility, which is a first level spell, shifted it up to a cantrip. So now I have both Magic Missile and Invisibility as cantrips.
And that's very cool because with cantrips, it doesn't count against how many spells you memorize. They're for free.
They are free.
Yes.
And with my level up, I got to select one 5th level spell. And I selected Cage because... why
Via rock,
not?
paper, scissors cheating.
Via rock, paper, scissors. I did not cheat.
You just kept going till you won.
Well, we
only went
went
once.
once.
For those at home who are confused, Mickie was very torn between two spell choices and played rock,
Yeah.
paper, and scissors.
It was between Cage and Polymorph because Nesolis in D&D had Polymorph as
Okay.
a matter of course. But now I selected Cage because it's, a pretty douchey spell, so why not?
It is.
I like it.
Awesome. All right. What did you add for your point on your stats?
I upped Wisdom, so now my modifier for Wisdom is +2. And somewhere along the line I was missing a point, so I was able to up the Strength from 9 to 8, so now I don't have a -1 Strength.
Excellent. All right. Brit, why don't you go next?
Okay, so going backwards, the point that I upped twice because I was also missing a point was Charisma. So I went from a 16 to an 18, which changes my modifier to 3.
So your charisma is +3. So you are the most loquacious, eloquent,
Yeah.
verbal
Yeah.
character in our group.
I feel like that would fit my character. I just have to figure out how to play that with my personality. So
So that's a
it's
challenge.
going to be a challenge.
All right.
And
That's
kind of
how we
appreciate
grow.
that.
All right.
That
Excellent.
is how we grow.
So you are the negotiator, the diplomat for us.
Apparently so.
All right.
Y'all are
James.
gonna die. But wait.
Oh, I'm
There's
sorry.
more.
Wait, there's more.
Sorry, my bad.
No, it's cool. I mean, I'll totally stop talking, but
Go
I'm
Billy
sure there
Mays.
are other things I'm supposed to be saying.
Sham wow us.
I also took
You can't do this all day, camera
Yep.
guy.
what?
Go ahead.
Duelist's Parry. So when I hack and slash, I take +1 armor forward. And from the, I guess, more advanced moves, I picked Devious. So when I use Charming and open, I may also ask, how are you vulnerable to me? My subject may not ask this question of me. So that's another adding to that charisma thing that I'm going to be working on.
So she's going to be talking to NPCs.
So you took 2. Were you one behind? Had you not done one?
On the build of her character, I was short one thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I had done that.
Gotcha. Anything else?
I think that was it.
Awesome. James.
Mine's
JJ,
nice and
the
simple.
bearded legend.
I also moved a negative in my dexterity to a 0. And I picked up Holy Smite, which allows me to deal slightly more damage.
Holy smite!
Holy smite!
Holy smite,
the-
Batman.
Power of capitalism.
Excellent. So that leaves
Essentially.
me.
It'd be a currency smite.
I believe that's all of us except for you.
All right.
Yes.
I only had 1 move to add, but I also had we had made a minor error, so I had 2 points to allocate. So I took my dexterity to 18, which gets me the max modifier plus 3. And then mostly for role-playing purposes, I upped my wisdom to 14. Does not change my modifier, but particularly with the druid interest and the nature of my monk-like fighter, wisdom is an appropriate stat for to advance. So I did that, and then for my additional move, I took on the fighter sheet, I took multi-clash initiative, which lets me get another move from another class. I did that because I am partially multi-classing with druid to kind of create the monk character that I was playing previously, and I really like this one. There were a few that I liked, but I'm going to take elemental mastery. When you call on the primal spirits of fire, water, earth, or air to perform a task for you, you roll roll plus wisdom, and I can, depending on how well I do, I can choose 1 or 2 of the following. The effect I desire comes to pass. I avoid paying nature's price, or I retain control. On a miss, which I think is 6-, some catastrophe occurs as a result of my calling. And I took this just for role-playing purposes, in that I like this idea of, I'm not playing a druid who shapeshifts. I'm playing a druid who's very in touch with nature, and so or a fighter who is learning druid skills
Tell
to
the
put
truth.
him
You
more
just
in
wanted
touch.
to fart fire.
I don't want to fart fire. I want to be more in touch with the land and nature, and understand that my ki or my chi or my power as a monk comes through all living things, including nature. And so by doing that, I'm going to have a better understanding of the elements and be able to use it going forward.
Having a good understanding of the elements is kind of important, but you're going to try and control them too.
Exactly.
Which is also important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And kind of down with the Avatar Last Airbender thing that I've got going in my mind.
Exactly. And from there, we have our group together. Within the room, the vault, the protected area where the sword was found, our group, that's where we decide to rest. Outside of the sealed room, there are still things banging on the door, waiting for you guys to come back out.
To be clear, are we all at max hit points after the rest?
Yes, we will do that as making a camp, which would be you'd get half of your max hit points back, and I'm pretty sure everybody was close enough that would just fill you up.
Yeah, I had taken a bit of a beating, but that gets me back.
Buttercup.
And just to let me down.
We're just waiting.
Yeah, wait, I'm waiting for you guys to do something.
It's waiting, sweetheart.
Character.
Yeah, so
Just
Character,
waiting.
make game go.
So now what do
You're
we do?
in the room, there are things banging on the door.
So now, like in game, so now that the two swords are near each other, I think that would be the source of my new and improved Holy Smite. The proximity with the other sword helped with my sword's combat capabilities. Just kind of unlocked the latent power inside the sword, and it also explained Brittany's new hack and slash duelist parry thing.
So the two swords combined
Well, they don't combine.
Powers
within
combined.
proximity. Within
proximity make each of you more powerful.
Yeah.
So when we get the third sword, you guys will be even more.
Exactly.
Even more
You will
powerful.
be epic.
We will be even more.
So do they?
more.
It's at least
hum?
possible.
Do they hum like when you put them near each other? Is there like a
I don't know.
resonating?
Do you want us to touch the shafts? God.
You got to cross streams. I mean, I want to see it.
Let's touch tips.
Touch tips.
Awesome.
Do they hum?
They vibrate. I don't know
No,
why.
don't get any ideas, Nesolis.
It's way too sharp.
I don't get it.
So,
Mm-hmm.
are you going to be able to sleep with this racket going on in the outside?
Well, somebody's trying to get in.
Yeah, exactly. So
we should reinforce
Multiple
the
things
doors.
are trying to get in.
We should probably reinforce the doors.
now,
I thought the door disappeared.
Aleyna, do we know if these doors are magically reinforced?
And I'm pretty sure the door disappeared.
The door itself, they were unable to break through for a couple of months before you guys arrived, and the last remaining person of the Order of Light was able to walk through the door. Everybody went in, it closed behind you, and now chances are when she walks up to the door again, it's going to fade away, and there will be bad stuff
So,
on the
Aleyna,
other side.
don't go near the door.
I mean, that just means that we're stuck in here forever.
Well,
think,
we've got we need a plan.
Should try to use my new elemental masteries. Take our campfire. It's for having camp. And turn it into a blowtorch out the door.
Would you have lit a fire in an enclosed room?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, now we're suffocating.
Oh, there's got to be...
To
It's
death.
totally closed?
Well, this is to protect magical artifacts. Do you leave a vent? I mean, if you're the Empire, yes, you do. But here, probably not.
Oh, well.
Is it
no
a Star
fire
Wars
then.
joke?
No fire. However, what if? All right. So what if you've got like magical? You've
Right,
got
you can-
elemental
You
control.
can fake fire. I mean,
No wait, I could do a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
you make
about
a
I
fire.
fireball and you blow it out?
Exactly. And then what I want to do is... I need a spark that I want to turn into basically a
God.
path of fire out the door to
Exactly.
clear out whatever's outside.
So I'll
Okay, but
start.
first I have to
I'll
open
do
the
a
door.
small fire near the door. You open the door.
She just has to stand in the doorway while you do it. That's
so you
cool.
stand near the doorway. Door disappears. I light the fire. You blow.
Right. And when we say blow, I'm like,
Yeah, like
channeling
wind.
elemental masteries. I'm going to roll that 10 plus. It's going to be awesome. 7 9's going to be awesome. And what's probably going to happen is I'm going to roll a 3 and it's
Yep,
going to
yep.
burn my butt. But,
It's okay.
you know, it's the
In
first time I've
addition,
tried
it will also burn mine. as
It'll
I'm
burn
standing
everyone
right
else.
there.
It's the
Which is
first
great.
time I've tried it. And then the goal is to make a path of fire straight out the door to clear out whatever's outside.
I like
Okay.
it.
If it can be a cone and clear even more, that's great. But realistically, I think it's probably a path of fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's already going to be a fireball, right?
You want me to roll?
You'll both need to roll. She'll need to
I don't
cast
see
a
this as a
spell.
fireball, just for what that's worth. I see
Well,
it
if
as
she was casting a fireball for you to do that.
she's got, and I'm going to
Oh,
take
also
it
we're
and
gonna
turn
get
it
fire.
into a wall of fire, a wall, basically a
Doesn't
stream
one
of
of you
fire.
like have something that's a small, non-harmful elemental thing?
I mean, we could probably have like light
adventuring supplies,
adventuring
i.e.
supplies.
torch.
Yeah, flint and steel.
No, I mean, I thought someone had a spell that was like a cantrip or something, so you didn't have to.
No, you're thinking
Was
of
that-
prestidigitation.
Was it prestidigitation?
She
You
also
could
I
had
think
make-
I could
create
just call them the
bonfire.
spirits
was
of
that
fire.
in
Oh no, I had
edition?
create bonfire in D&D.
No,
yeah.
there was something that was like you can use some elemental thing as long as it's non-harmful. Like you could
Thaumaturgy?
I
maybe.
Yeah.
think you're
I don't think
making it up.
I don't think I am.
Well, here.
I don't think
you're
it matters because I think
Yeah.
I can call them the spirits of fire. That's the
Well,
whole thing
yeah.
with the druid is I call them the spirits.
Exactly.
I think
So,
I can
like,
basically
are you
conjure
remembering the elementals from Win?
What?
The
From
town.
Wint?
town.
Yeah, the Wint.
Wint.
Yeah, Wint.
fire. No, but I think I'm more primal than that. I think I'm in touch with like the elements of the
Because the
actual
elemental
earth.
So do you-
itself is from another plane, but you're talking
Right.
about there's fire here.
Right, like there's
on
hydrogen,
this.
there's oxygen,
Yeah.
there's fuel, there's.
So do you need us to turn up to light a torch for you?
I don't think so. I think that would just make it stronger.
So, what is your desire then?
Or is it-
If someone can light a torch and I can work my power on it, I think that will be the best result. If
All right.
not, I will conjure from scratch.
Now,
Let's
while
light
you
a
guys
torch
are talking about it, Jer is still there in the room with you for now.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that his larynx got cut.
he motions two things. Jared tells you that he sees some scribe. There's words written in some language that he doesn't understand, a script, kind of intertwined around the pedestal that the sword was on, and he can't make it out. I don't
We
know
should
if
probably
anybody
try to
else.
read that, huh?
Yeah, this would be a spout lore.
Let's give that a try.
I can assure you that Truk, with his -1 to intelligence, is not going to be able to read that.
Let's see if
Let's
Nesolis
start
can
getting
make
your
it.
experience towards level 7. What
Oh
you got?
yeah!
Heck yeah! So
11 on the dice. Plus
make words.
3.
Is
There
that the
you
loaded
go.
dice?
Yes.
I will. So I'm sending this to you in an email. I'm actually sending it to everybody so that after Mickie reads it once, anyone can see it. But I want Mickie to be the one to read that out as Nesolis. Yeah, as Nesolis makes out the script.
This one?
She's
not
going
lying.
to. Yes, that's what it says. And don't the Joe at the end. That's not on there. That's just my name.
Welcomed at birth, outcast by choice, concealed in life, strong of voice, bolstered by purity, by serenity, by might, the child of darkness wields the heart of the night.
Ooh.
And a hush falls over the
Yeah.
So there's something out there called the child of darkness that's wielding as in wielding a sword. So the third sword, heart of the night.
Well, you have the name of the third
H3?
sword, which was not that.
We never shared it.
I did.
Yeah, the
I
day
think
reckoning.
So
on the previous podcast, the blacksmith was telling you about the
Okay.
three swords. I don't remember if I said the names,
yes,
but we have the names.
all of them have
I
names.
did.
Duck's demise.
The duck's demise. One
Do you
is-
have Dusk's demise?
I have
Dusk's
Dust's
demise, Day of
and then
Reckoning, and Dawn
Day of
Arise.
Reckoning is that one
That's at
because
the
I
water
have
station.
Dawn Arise.
You have Dawn Arise.
Now, if this is open for interpretation,
which it definitely is. That's why
I'm going
I
to say
wrote
that
it.
the child of darkness or whatever it said, probably a tiefling.
Not
Just
me.
a guess. Just a guess.
Hey, who's a tiefling?
And there's
She's an elf
fourth
wizard.
unknown sword
Not
for
me.
our fourth player that conveniently didn't have a sword within the three.
I don't get it.
Maybe we should travel back in time and ask the original blacksmith if he made a fourth sword.
We should do that.
Or we
could
could
go
go
check
back
out
to the
those
town.
books.
Yeah.
Oh.
Research.
I like mine better.
Yeah,
feel like
traveling
just
back
go-
in time. If you had taken polymorph, you could polymorph time. Or
Go
Maybe-
direct
Wait,
to the
we-
source.
Is this
What?
referencing a fourth sword?
That's what it sounded like.
So
That's
this
what
is,
it implies.
Can
Jer
you
brings
read it
this
again?
to your attention, and he tells you as well that he's going to be hanging out after you guys leave. He's going to hang out to try and rebuild the temples.
He
There's
got
a lot
pretty
of sacred
adept at sign
stuff.
language pretty quick.
Yeah, he got a lot of sacred stuff was destroyed here, and he feels somewhat responsible.
All right, Truk, light him up.
Light them up, baby.
So
Not
what you
bad for a
want
white
to do?
guy. All right.
Describe to me the scene.
So
Torch lit, thrown
Nesolis is
near the
riding
door.
a torch, throwing it literally
Yeah.
as in an arc in front of the door, and I'm going to try for the first time to use my elemental mastery power. I'm going to call on quickly on the spirits of fire to try to create basically a line or a wave of fire out the door to clear whatever's there.
Okay.
Now we
And how are you
recognize
getting the door open?
I'm going to go stand next
That's
to it.
Aleyna's
All right.
job.
I want to make sure
right.
these things.
She's going to go beat a Walmart greeter.
we recognize that my
Get
wisdom
you a
Shit
bucket.
and get out.
my wisdom modifier is not that high, but I'm doing this for role playing purposes because this is the way I think Truk would play.
I like how he's prefacing his failure.
Come
I
on,
hope he
baby, come on, baby,
succeeds
come on,
just
baby.
because he's so...
I don't think there'll be a failure.
Holy
I think
It will
there
be a failure.
Oh my God! He rolled
I
a
called
be
it.
a
I rolled
miserable-
a 3.
It's gonna be a
Now,
miserable
it is
success.
cocked.
It is cocked, but
Let's re-roll the two.
Reroll the
Go
two.
ahead, you can get a 1.
No, you got a 6.
well, that would get me to 6 plus 1 would be 7.
Okay.
if that's okay.
That's fine with me.
All right, so on that, a 7 would be a moderate success, and I get to choose one. Either the effect I desire comes to pass, I avoid paying nature's price, or I retain control. I don't understand what I retain control means.
Well,
But-
when you do something like, for example, say you called fire to build a campfire, and you didn't retain control of that, what happens to a campfire that's out
Smokey
of
the bear
control?
bites you in the
But
butt.
could that not also be nature's price?
Oh, it could be, sure.
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to pick, at the risk of biting myself in the ass, I'm going to pick the effect I desire comes to pass.
Okay. The effect you desire, it's not biting yourself in the ass, is it?
No, I'm
Because
trying
you-
to
that was- you said
kill
you-
everything outside of the door in front of it.
Okay.
I'm
So-
in front of it.
Well, what you desired was to create a path of fire, or a cone of fire out the door. So that's what's going to happen.
Correct.
and it burns, burns,
Yeah.
burns.
Like a ring of fire.
They the door opens, and on the other side it is just a bunch of demons there. The dead, the corpses of the Nagas outside still in the hallway. But there are demons there just that were banging on the door as Aleyna approached, and the door vanished, and you shoot the fire out. The fire consumes several of them, but now the the fire itself has sucked a lot of the oxygen out of the area, and you are now struggling for breath.
Fantastic.
Everybody.
Drop to the floor.
What do you do about it?
Drop to the floor.
Okay.
Run out of the room.
Is there more oxygen at floor level?
Yeah.
Why?
Heat rises. So you've got the whole convection. We just opened the door.
Yeah.
So heat rises.
why
we
you
just
stop, drop, and roll,
sucked
Joe.
all the air
Well, that's
out.
smoke.
You sucked
There's
all
no
the air out.
smoke here. Yeah.
No, think about it. Convection.
Okay.
You
Yep,
sucked all the air out. So there was a rush of air out of the room.
Yeah.
At the bottom, where the cold air was just sucked back in, there's more oxygen.
Okay.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm
Truk doesn't buy any of that because he has a -1 to intelligence, so he's running out of the room because he's like, I want to breathe, I want to breathe.
All right. So in order to try and breathe and moving to do that, that's going to be a defy danger with dexterity.
All right, well, Dex is good for me because
However-
I am at 18.
Nesolis will apparently be trying to defy the danger with intelligence.
Right. So I actually have a plus.
Are we both
plus 3
rolling?
is the max modifier.
Everyone is going to roll, but I need to know how you're doing it in order for this to work. This was a good example of how the rules come into play. Kurt described that Truk would be running out, and he's going to be moving as fast as he can to get to oxygen, so that's dexterity. Nesolis, or Mickie described it as an intellectual pursuit, therefore that's intelligence. And each person's going to have... So Kurt, what the hell?
Well, I rolled a 4, even though I have an 18 Dex, but fortunately with my modifier, that gets me to 7.
Okay.
Which means that I'm not a complete and total failure. So I don't
not
mark,
complete and total failure.
I don't mark an XP there, right?
Right. You get past the spot, so you're no longer struggling for breath. However, you had to run past a couple of demons, and they swipe at you with their barbed hands and claws, and you get hurt running through them. I need you to roll a d8 for damage.
Jeez.
You're
roll
going to
a
take that
D10.
as you're running past them.
I rolled a
That's
D10
a
and got an
D10.
8. Yeah, because I didn't have an 8.
You
What
don't
is
have an
wrong
8
with
handy.
Toma?
What are you looking for?
A D8.
All right, here we go. D8. Oh,
for it.
God. JJ's dice give me a fucking hard on.
And
So good.
What was that about
5.
the explicit tag?
armor does not help you here because it
Those
is
are the metal
heat
dice.
and
Right.
straight up demonic damage. Ouch.
So I took 5. And just to be clear, unless you adjusted your con, your hit points
do not
don't
go up.
change.
No.
Correct.
All right, so I went from 26 to 21.
Okay. Nesolis,
I rolled a 7.
you rolled
Plus
a 7.
3 intelligence is a 10.
Okay. You successfully get to where there is enough oxygen to continue breathing for
Fantastic.
Girls are smarter than boys.
Yep.
now. And
9 times out of
what
10.
are Kalam'te and Aleyna doing at this point?
It's actually
You're
not
struggling
that bad
for
for
air.
me.
I was going to say,
You're pretty short.
having grown up in a desert,
Well, growing up in the desert, but I also I grew up on the side of a mountain, so I regularly made treks
Side of the
up
mountain
to
in the desert.
yeah.
That's cool. Sand dune. Really tall sand
it
dune.
Really
wasn't,
tall sand.
it wasn't a mountain, it was a pyramid.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I regularly made treks up to where oxygen was, fairly low.
Okay.
So I'm acclimated to low oxygen situations.
Constitution. That draws a constitution defy danger.
I love how, the more you bullshit,
Better your roll.
That's the way it's got to go. All right.
Finish
7.
that statement.
Huh?
I love how the more you bullshit.
the easier it is to get out of it. Like, Joe's just like, yeah, that makes sense. All right.
That's the way it is. The whole point is
The whole point is we're bullshitting at him.
It's like, yeah,
Right.
it's crazy enough to work.
And he's going to make it either, bite us in the butt later or
right.
Yeah.
So the way the game is intended to work is you describe what your character is doing, and only when it triggers a rule do you actually make a roll.
So
In this
I
case,
got a
your-
7.
So your character is faced with the prospect of not being able to breathe. What do you do? Well,
I just hold my breath
I've dealt
really
with
well.
this before. I hold
Yeah.
my breath. As you are holding your breath and steeling yourself, several of the demons rush in and surround you.
Okay.
You will now be surrounded by demons, and they rushed right past Aleyna, who is doing what?
Right where I wanted you.
Right where I wanted you.
My thing was waiting for everyone else to go so I could figure out who I could help, but the people who were already figuring their shit out
Yeah. Therefore,
weren't really in danger, I guess.
you're
everyone's
the
a
one in
little bit
danger. How do
danger.
you handle you being in danger? You're not able to breathe right now. What can you do about it?
How far away is the air?
Truk
You were near the
ran,
door.
Truk breathing?
Yeah, Truk ran out into the hallway. I don't know. He runs fast. He probably made it 50 feet or so into the hallway with demons beating on him as he went by, and he seems to be catching his breath.
And you were near the door because
Yeah.
you opened it for me, so you can. I think you can make a dive for it.
Yeah.
So, in addition to just running out, I want to hit some demons on the way out with my fancy new
That's
sword.
crazy right there. So
It is
first, I need you to defy danger with
Right.
dexterity as you're running out.
Do you have a shield?
Yes. Yes.
What about running with like a
Shield-
shield
her
back?
shield is named Calamity. He happens to be in the
I'm assuming that this whole 1 or 2 armor means that I do have a shield.
Yeah. It's a +1 when you're using the shield.
Yeah.
Yep. Therefore,
Shield bash.
you're doing a defy danger with dexterity first as you're running out towards where the air is. And you got a
9.
9.
Yeah.
So here's what this means is you can either make it to where the air is clear enough to breathe, or you can stop and try and hit some demons. I give you that choice because you rolled a 9. And
Did your watch just ring?
yeah, you are choosing to.
So you can
She's
fight
thinking
some
about-
demons while not breathing.
Yep.
Or you can run to safety.
He's trying
Clearly,
to
I'm
clue
going
you
to
in.
attack that demon.
Of course. Therefore, if you are, then roll a hack and slash.
Awesome.
And we'll see how it works out. That's with strength, I believe.
Strength.
I think we left you as strength hitting things.
Ooh, I see 8.
10.
10, okay. So deal first. What are you using? You have a weapon of some type. What type of weapon are you
My
using?
fancy new one.
All right, so the new longsword that you grabbed.
Yeah.
And that,
I really just wanted to see what it does.
okay, so you're going to hit a demon with it.
Yeah.
Roll your damage.
What should she roll for?
Oh, I
damage?
forgot.
She's using
damage
the special sword? The
damage
Order Light?
is not based
damage
off of
is
what
the
weapon
same.
I'm using.
Is she
It's
using
based
the
off
Order
of the
Light
character.
sword?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do we remember the name of it?
Dawn Arise.
Dawn Arise.
All right, so you're swinging that. And
5.
you are doing...
5. Do I add anything to damage?
Nope.
5.
5, okay.
5 Dawn Arise damage.
Dawn Arise damage. Okay.
To demon.
Excuse me. Now I will go to Nesolis next because Nesolis is there in the room where demons have just run in, surrounded Calamity, and Nesolis is, well, on the floor hanging out.
She sees Calamity surrounded.
Yeah. And Aleyna just stepped through the door and wail on a demon while gasping for breath.
I'm going to start.
And Truk ran out the hallway following the fire.
Nice job, Truk. I'm going to start blasting the demons that are surrounding Calamity.
Okay. With?
Eldritch Blast.
Go ahead.
Well, magic missile.
Roll that.
Hey,
that
Joe, while she
spell.
rolls that, can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
One of my my moves is that my signature weapon has an extra enhancement, and we gave it sharp.
Yep.
And sharp is +2 piercing. That's +2 to damage?
+2 piercing. Piercing means ignores this amount of armor. So a thing that has 2 armor, you would ignore 2 armor with 2 piercing.
If it was unarmed, does the sharp mean nothing?
It means nothing extra, no.
Okay. Does anything in Dungeon World add onto your to hit?
Not to your hit, no.
Okay.
Your roll for a hack and slash is plus your stat.
Right.
And
There's
then
no-
what adds to that is getting help from other people or other people's moves.
So a weapon characteristic or feat would not add to your to hit. It would only affect damage.
It could, if it's a special weapon. I've written magic items that can help with stuff like that.
Okay.
But by default, a sword doesn't give you a +1 to hit.
Gotcha.
Right. And I know Mickie rolled good.
I rolled a 9.
And
So it means... Oh, I don't
you
know.
add intelligence when you cast a spell,
So that is a 12.
which is really good.
Which is a lot
Which
better
is
than a 9.
awesome.
Yeah, so you do not have to pick anything from the 7 to 9 because you didn't get
On a 10 or more, the spell is successfully cast,
got
and
it.
I do not forget the spell. I may cast it later.
Therefore, roll that damage for that spell.
Empowered magic. When you cast a spell on a 10 or more, I have the option of choosing from the 1 to 7 list. If I do, I may choose one of these. I can maximize the spell's effect or double The targets. Ooh.
Now, maximize a spell's effect when you're doing a damage spell. Typically, I'll just see it as you do the total damage, the maximum damage. Or you can do the rolled
Let's double
damage
it.
to 2 targets.
Let's do 2 targets, because how many monsters are surrounding
He has
him?
5 demons around him.
Let's
a couple
target
of
2.
shadow demons and a couple of spiky barbed demons.
Let's target
And
2,
another.
and they each get 4. And
Okay.
then I'll choose unwelcome attention as the negative consequence.
Okay.
Aleyna, get back in here.
So what that means, Calamity, is the 2 that she hit immediately turn and lunge towards her, but you still have 3 there. What are you doing about the 3 demons that are, well, within arm's reach? Because Day is about to hurt you.
I's gonna hurt them first.
Okay.
I picked the biggest of the bunch,
Hack and or slash. The spiky ones are the bigger ones.
and I choose them. I choose him.
His name is Pikachu.
Pikachu. I choose Pikachu,
Bitch.
and I say I will send you back to your home plane.
Oh, cool. He probably wants to go back home. Although demons kind of like wreaking havoc
Exactly.
where we are, too.
But that is
Okay.
my Exterminatus move.
Okay. What you got?
I got a 10 on the die.
All right, so that's going to be a good success. He's not going to be able to hit you back.
Nope. And I'm going to do,
Apparently, a
regular
ton
weapon
of
damage.
Yeah.
which is 6, plus my Holy Smite,
Ow.
plus 8, so 14, plus
Okay.
Exterminatus, 3 and 2. So 19 damage.
So let's say that you do send it back to its home
How do you
plane.
hit so hard?
What does that look like when you hit a? What is more of a flesh and blood demon rather than a shadow demon? This one has substance to it.
This
and it's
one,
really spiky.
this one, like I swing, and I swing so hard, a lightning bolt comes from the ceiling and strikes it in the head.
Ouch.
I created such a so
Okay.
much static electricity because the air is so dry.
It is it
from
is
the
dry.
fire.
Yeah.
That static electricity basically zaps him straight in the nose
Ow.
as I'm decapitating him.
So what is that? Van de Graaff generator.
I have no idea what
The
you just
lightning
said.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
very nice.
Yeah,
Well
zap.
done.
It's a lot of static right there. All right, so you hit that guy right in the face.
Sounds like elemental mastery. To me.
I'm assuming 19 does do him in.
Yeah, done. Yeah.
Okay.
And that, as a side note, in the actual Dungeon World monsters, nothing really has more than about 16 or 17 hit points
Yeah.
because you're not intended to do that much damage at once unless you're really just going to demolish a single thing. Plus, you have to be able to hit it. In this case, a paladin hitting a demon certainly makes sense. The other two, however, one spiky demon and one shadow demon do come in and get their whacks at you, so you get double whacked.
Okay.
Just take a d6 plus 1 damage.
You wax, yeah.
And your armor helps. Did you roll a 1?
I did.
All right, so take 1 damage. I don't like with 2 of them hitting you, it won't be reduced to 0. So
Okay,
take
so
1 damage.
take 1
Yeah,
damage.
just 1.
I can take 1.
You got it. So we got that. And Truk, outside, you hear the clashing of, the sound, first off, of the
A thunderbolt.
Eldritch Blast, the zap of some some big static electricity. I think Calamity had rubbed a balloon on his head for a few seconds before hitting the bad guy. And Aleyna gasping for breath behind you. And you are several, what would we say, maybe 50 feet outside the room. And you have a bunch of demons out in the hallway with you.
Right. So the demons that Aleyna attacked are still there.
They are at the doorway. She didn't make it much farther out.
Right.
She chose to stop and hit them rather than to keep running.
Right. So I will take a big breath.
Yeah.
And I will go and attack one of the demons that's next to Aleyna with my fists, and then try to hightail it out
So
of there.
to get back that far, you're going to have to defy danger by passing the demons between you and her.
Okay.
So that'll be, you're just going to try and rush past them quickly and deftly,
Yes, because
Like
I am
all-
very acrobatic.
all dexterously.
Exactly.
All right. Let's see how successful you are.
6 plus 3, 9.
Okay. What does it look like as you're rushing past shadows and spikes and stuff?
Well, I would be trying to be as efficient as possible, but still acrobatic to get by. So, I'd be running and then kind of jumping forward into a roll and then going and then rolling and not doing anything crazy, but just trying to get there as quickly as possible.
So maybe during one of those rolls, what happens is your foot hits one of the spikes as you're rolling past one of the demons. Roll a D8 for some damage.
Okay.
He got to grab JJ's dice again.
Yeah, I don't have a D8 today for some reason. 2.
Okay.
All
Take
right,
2 damage.
Then 19.
Do you want one of these?
One quick question since I'm about to hit things. My signature weapon has is perfectly weighted, which says add precise, and I don't
That's
remember
why
what
you're
that
using
means.
dexterity. Precise is the dexterity tag.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. So anything that uses precise, when you go to hack and slash, you use dex.
And my signature weapon when we started, I think, was my fist.
Yes. Essentially, we're saying
believe
body.
it was your body in
Anytime you
general.
want to hit
Right.
something without holding a weapon.
Right. I just want to make sure my staff was not now my signature weapon.
No, but your staff is there for defense.
Right. Okay. So I got past them. I took a little bit of damage, and now I'm going in with a hack and slash.
You are right next to that one, right next to Aleyna.
Hack and slash
Yeah.
with Dex.
What are you physically doing? Describe what it is.
Right. So I guess I am picking the shadow demon and trying to come down, basically jumping up and coming down with a really, really powerful elbow into what would be the shadow demon's shoulder. I know that they're not completely precise forms, but into its shoulder. And then if that succeeds, would follow it up with a kind of a fist to the head, trying to do as much damage as possible.
All right.
I unfortunately only rolled a 5 plus 3, which is 8.
Okay, so first roll your damage.
My damage is a D10, which... Oh, I have an 8 now. I have an extra one. I rolled a 7.
Okay. And with that, the shadow demon sees you at the last moment, turns, and its shadowy clawed hand reaches up and rakes through your arm as you are hitting it. Roll a d6 for your damage.
When you rolled that last time and I got a 2, should I ever reduce that for armor? No. Okay.
For some of these, armor won't help. Like when
A D6? Okay.
he's going to roll a d6. The shadow demon is just going to ignore your armor. It goes right to flesh.
3.
Okay, so you take 3 damage as you do turn this shadow demon into just a shadow on the ground. So you defeat it, but it scratches through into your arm and causes you that 3 damage.
All right, so I am down to 16 hit points from 26.
Aleyna, you're just about out of breath. You're starting to see the black spots in front of your eyes.
Open a can of whoop ass.
I have to be able to breathe to do that.
Well, get down low first. And then uppercut.
You're the only one who did not run for air.
Are you in
Started to,
character?
but I got
Is
distracted.
Nesolis giving her advice? Because technically, what you just did there was you're aiding her.
Yeah,
So you
but
have a
like-
role for that.
Say
Because
drop down.
I'm like, drop down. 'Cause I'm down here and I can breathe very well.
So on the basic move sheet, there is a move called aid. It's actually aid or interfere. And that move is what you use when you're helping somebody.
Okay.
So we're going to do that. Now you roll and you add any bonds you have with that character. So we're just going to add 1.
So 9.
Okay, which then on the aid interfere it says,
Wait, 9 plus 1.
9
9
plus
plus
1.
1.
all right, so 10. On
Talking
aid or
to
interfere
your
it says,
On a 10 or more, they take a +1 or -2, your choice.
right. If
So
you're
I'll
trying
give-
to interfere with somebody, you give them a negative.
I'll
2.
give you a +1.
So Nesolis just gave you some advice on how to deal with the spots in front of your eyes, which was
Get down low. When you're feeling Drop it
Get
like
low
it's
to the
hot.
float.
So
so.
Aleyna drops down, but Nesolis just used too much air to talk.
She's already figured out where the air is.
I already
She's
know where
good.
the air is.
Yeah, she figured that part out.
Bah, ha, ha, ha.
Therefore, if you're going to heed her advice, then I will use for you. It's going to be. We'll
make
describe
checks.
it. She said to drop down. So what do?
Drop down.
Is it like fast? You're just going to try and move as quickly as you can, or
Ragdoll.
So
You
just gotta
ragdoll
ragdoll it
down.
Sure.
Like 5-year-old kid doesn't want to be picked up.
No, I'm not throwing a temper tantrum. I'm going to literally throw myself at the floor.
that's going to be
Good Lord.
dexterity.
Elbows first.
Okay,
Seemed like the right thing to do.
all right. That way, when you hit with a bad roll, the sword will fly out of your hand, and someone will go grab it. I'm just setting it up.
Hey, do I get a plus because she
You get a
aided
plus
me?
1, yeah.
Okay.
She's helping you
Cool.
on this roll of getting some air and
So
not
plus
passing
1,
out.
and it's Dex.
We're using Dex
Plus
to get
another
down
1.
to the ground, yeah. As
So-
fast as you can.
2 plus
There you go.
9 is 11.
Okay, so you drop to the ground and you're able to breathe.
Get low, get low.
Calamity, what you doing? You
I
still have
have
2 there and 2
there.
that have turned towards Nesolis. They have their backs to you, but they're about to hit her. So you have the option
Hit
of...
the 2 that have your backs.
I'm going to go and attempt to parry their attacks by chopping off their arms.
I guess I would have phrased it as negate their attacks, but parry is really cool. You're going to disarm them.
Yeah,
Yes.
literally.
Disarm.
Hey, Kirk got it. That's cool. Go ahead. So you're going up to 2 of them. Now, I guess first what I'm going to ask you to do is the 2 that are next to you are going to be trying to hit you.
Yeah.
They're not going to let you go by. How do you get past them to get to where
Bull
you
rush. Just
Okay.
straight up bull rush.
Constitution. You're just going to push your way through them, right?
That's a 12.
Okay, you push
Nice.
your way right through them. Their attacks bounce off of your armor, and you make it to the backs of the 2 that are about to attack Nesolis.
And here we go.
Hack and or
Oh, my
slash.
word, you're on
Nice.
fire, baby.
Dude, I don't know what it is, but
So
this
that
game
total
system.
is what, a 13?
You're like Bill
It's a
Clinton in a
13,
strip
yeah.
club.
Yeah. Therefore, you're going to, because of that roll, I'm going to let you deal your damage to both, just like
Okay.
you wanted. You are just monstering through them.
12 damage.
12 damage, okay. Nesolis, the 2 that were just about to reach towards you and hurt you because you drew that unwelcome attention can no longer reach as their arms have been severed by Calamity, and they squeal a demon squeal and fall to the ground.
And I laugh at them.
Yeah, there are 2 more inside the room and several more at the doorway where Truk and Aleyna are.
I'm going to blast the 2 that are still in the room.
Okay, they're right behind Calamity.
Perfect
But,
place. That was a 6.
Now, you can attack 1 until you choose to maximize your spell,
I'm
right?
gonna do it because I got a 13.
Yeah.
I'm going to empower magic.
So you're going to double it again.
Hit them both.
Yep. And what you got?
Oh,
Max.
You're hitting max.
8.
Okay.
8 to each.
With that-
And then John unwelcome.
With that,
attention.
those 2 shadow demons dissipate into shadows on the ground before they start to make their way out of this existence. When that happens, when there's that squealing that Calamity caused by hitting them, and then the 2 that you just defeated, all of the ones at the doorway ignore Aleyna and Truk and just start marching in a deliberate fashion towards Nesolis.
Bring it.
Bring it. That's already been brought in.
I'm going to bring it again.
Truk.
So they're all nice and lined up.
Oh, pretty much, yeah.
So they're nice and
they're
lined
not
up
paying
for,
attention to you, but they are headed straight towards Nesolis,
They are. So,
who is technically the squishy of the group, right?
right. So I'm a little nervous because I've taken some hits, but I've got to go over and help her out.
Okay.
So I'm going to sprint as fast as I can. And even though... Now, if I use my staff, do I get to use Dex? Or
Not
is
for
it-
attack, no, but your staff is a good way to explain defense. So the way we had talked about it was, if you're holding like the staff in one hand, yet kicking and punching with the other hand, when something attacks you back, you can use the staff to help deflect some of it. It counts as 1 armor while you're holding it.
Okay. But it's not... I wouldn't be using it to strike or to...
You can, but it would be a strength attack then,
Right.
because it's not your natural attack. Your natural attack
But if you
is your
use the
fists.
staff to pole vault yourself into a flying kick,
Exactly.
I like that.
And then while you would still be holding the staff, so if something hits you in the interim, you can use it to help defend yourself.
Right. Let's do that. I like that one. So I'm going to...
Frederica, the idea is Frederica is protective of you.
I'm going to sprint.
Yeah.
And I actually like that because that would be actually very natural to plant
Pole
the
vault,
staff,
yeah.
use it for to make a small jump, and then do a flying classic Karate Champ video game from 1986 into the face of
All
whatever's
right.
closest to her.
Depending on what you roll for this, we're about to learn how high the ceiling is.
yeah.
Awesome. So I'm going to say this is Dex, right?
Yeah.
Hack and slash with Dex.
Yes, it
because
is.
I'm precise.
Well, how does that work out?
8. I see
8 plus 3 is 11.
Okay, so the ceiling was just high enough. And go ahead and roll some damage right onto. Well, I'll let you pick. You've got 2 shadow demons and 2 spiky demons.
I'm going to keep going with the Shadow Demons.
Okay. You already know that you can hurt them.
Exactly.
Yep. Go for it.
4. Do I roll again? Or just one time?
Hopefully just once.
Oh, okay.
You
Is it
one
4 to each?
You one hacked and one slashed. You're only attacking one thing, right? Well, that's what I got. You
Yes.
were pole
4 seems
vaulting into
kinda
one
wussy.
thing. It might feel kind of wussy, but 4 is enough to dissipate another shadow demon.
Okay, good.
Aleyna,
I like dissipating things.
you're on the ground.
See, in D&D, I need like 36 hit points to do that.
Yeah, you don't.
How far
necessarily
out
need
of the room did I make it?
to. Like 5 feet or so. You decided to stop rather than run.
Can I
you're
army
right
crawl
outside
back
the
and
door.
stab something in the foot?
You could try.
I think James is reenacting.
He did, but he did some kind of straddle thing.
James just did a figure reenactment of what Truk did.
Yeah.
And I didn't just kick him in the face. I launched myself with my staff.
Yeah.
Scissor kicked around his head and neck,
And
twisted
then
him to the
spun.
ground.
And then did the whole
and then did
crazy
an acrobatic.
martial arts
Yes.
thing, and then
What every female character does in a John Woo movie.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Exactly.
All right,
Go ahead.
got it. Yes. However, you're going to be trying to get there quickly. Army crawling on the floor is not a quick thing to
I'm
do.
like 5 feet away.
You're 5 feet out of the room.
How far in the room are they?
Let's say 10 feet. How fast can
So
you
15.
crawl on your elbows in 15 feet?
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
Let me clarify. You already know you can't make it that far
Oh.
and still hit something in one quote-unquote turn.
You have anything you could throw at him?
You'd have to do something at a range or get up and run at
Okay.
them.
So I'm
And
gonna get
everybody
up.
else seems to be able to breathe right now, so maybe the air has gotten better.
Oh.
Let's find out.
Oh. Well, I guess I'm going to get up and run back in.
All right, go for it.
Ruin the army crawl thing for me.
It takes a long time to do something like that.
not for Rambo.
Well, that's kind of an editing thing in the movie.
First blood.
He can make it like
So-
4 miles as long as you edit out that
Well,
it took 2
yeah.
hours. Yeah. Therefore, you're going to run in and hit something.
Yeah.
What you going to hit, and what are you going to hit it with? You've got a shadow demon and 2 spiky demons.
And a sword that does something, I hope.
It does damage. It's sharp. And
It may not
You
do
said
anything
a
by
shadow,
itself.
2 spiky?
1 shadow, 2 spiky demons remain.
I'll go for the closest spiky.
Okay, go ahead. Hack and slash.
6.
6 is not a success. It is an abject failure.
You can
The
mark
first
an XP.
experience I've ever gotten to mark.
And with that, the spike demon wraps itself around the swords and wrenches it from your hands
Fantastic.
and kind of engulfs it within all its barbs and spikes.
Get out of the way.
That's what you going to do.
Tell her to get out of the way.
And you did.
So I
Therefore-
dropped down.
I'm a fireball.
That's what she's going to do. Anytime Nesolis says something, she's just going to drop to the ground now.
I'm going to fireball that one.
Fireball. Cool. Well, there's 3 together, and they're marching towards you already.
Glad I dropped down then, because that fireball's going to
Yeah.
suck the air out again.
You'll be fine.
It very well could, depending on the
I know
level.
I will. I'm on the ground.
And
You'll be
we've
fine.
already determined the ground is the right place to be when there's a fire.
Are
You'll
we
be
down
fine.
to just the 2
There are
spikies?
3, 2 spikies and 1 shadow
I
demon.
have written here forgotten. Would I have re-remembered fireball?
Yeah.
Can I
You just restudy it.
can Truk be calling on the elements of fire to try to augment what Nesolis
9.
is doing?
What I would ask before that would have been an aid kind of thing.
You could have
Okay.
opened your mouth
However,
before.
she's already doing it, so let's let that happen first.
9.
Okay, 9.
So I invoke a mighty fireball of flame that envelops the target and everyone nearby.
Is there a different kind of fireball? Fireball of flame.
Fireball whiskey.
Of whiskey?
Yeah.
Whiskey fireball.
Oh, man.
So this is a 2...
But it doesn't have any flame?
D6 and...
Just a
I
lot
mean,
of
I don't know of
cinnamon.
any fireball that doesn't have flame.
Isn't there a shot? That's fireball?
But that's
No, you
not
light
a
it on fire.
fireball. That's just
There's
naming
the
something else with
cinnamon
the same name.
jawbreakers.
Yeah, cinnamon jawbreakers. That doesn't have any fire.
Yeah, those totally
But that's not
exist in
a
Dungeon World.
fireball. That's a thing with the name of fireball on it.
Just roll it, babe. Just roll it.
All right, it's going to explode too.
Boom!
Man, you guys are rolling
Boom.
hot.
All right, so the other thing you have to do is pick from a 7 to 9.
Unwalk on the tension.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why are you picking us up?
From the dead things.
Perhaps the unwelcome attention you are drawing is from your party members as they all burn from your spell.
No, sorry.
That's a pretty evil. So how much damage was it that everyone's taking?
10.
10.
10. The fireball explodes in the room beyond your normal control.
Fantastic.
And yes, it does deal that much damage to everybody in the room.
What happens-
However, it also destroys all of the demons as well.
What happens when you get to 0 hit points in Dungeon World?
You drop.
That's actually an advanced or special move. It's called Last Breath.
I'm not there, but I'm getting close.
It's a really fun thing, actually. You get to death's door, and you can make a deal with death.
Oh,
Which
I remember.
Strong Dawn did.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man. All right.
Are
I'm not
you
there.
at 0?
I'm at 6.
Well, I took them all out. So
Yes. Yeah. It did
Okay,
indeed.
thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Thanks for that. As I put out the fire under my armpit hair.
And she kind of like stands up. At least they're gone.
And the sword is on the ground, pretty much white hot with heat, just like a fireball has flame. This has hot heat. And that's where we're going to end this episode, and we're going to, as we begin the next one, decide what we're doing next. There's no more demons right now, so that could be a good thing.
I've scoured the temple.
Yeah, and you've burned everyone's clothes off, which is interesting.
Well,
Wobbly bits.
Wobbly bits.
On
At
that,
least
we're going to
they're
end this episode, and everyone can say...
bye, everyone.
buddy.
Thanks for listening.
It's a charred
Penis.
penis. No, it's a charred penis.
Chair stays behind as the group of heroes blasts their way out of the vault in the Temple of the Order of Light. We end the session with an explosive fireball from Nesolis, clearing the path for them to exit. Thanks for joining us. The preceding podcast was brought to you by One Joe Young. You can find us online at adventuresfromtheshed.com.